What's the first thing you do when you wake up? If you're like most people, like 80% of people, you grab your phone and start scrolling. And you've just activated the exact brain pathway that guarantees a chaotic and unproductive day. Stay with me for the next 7 minutes, and I'll show you why neuroscientists call the morning the golden hours and the three tiny morning habits you can implement that can triple your productivity without changing your wake up time. The third one takes just like 30 to 60 seconds, but completely eliminated my afternoon crashes. Hey, y'all. It's Jay from Life Next Level. I appreciate you checking this out. Stay with me again for the next 7 minutes so we can talk about the three morning habits. And at the very end, we're going to talk about briefly about three habits that are destroying your morning that you must start to eliminate to make this stuff work. So, before anything, let's talk about the domino effect. Why your first 15 minutes matter more than you think. The secret is probably hiding right in the first 15 minutes after you wake up. Those first few moments when you're still groggy and reaching for your phone or whatever it is that you're reaching for, getting up and getting with it. Let me paint you a picture of what happens in a typical morning. Your alarm goes off, and almost instinctively, your hand reaches for your phone. You start scrolling through notifications, emails, social media, flooding your brain with dopamine and putting you in a reactive state before your feet even hit the floor. And that's not a good thing. I learned this the hard way when I recently spent months in a funk. And during that whole time, I started my mornings on social media. It's a vicious cycle. And honestly, not only for mornings, but it would continue throughout the day. If I started my morning with social media, I'd have to check it every hour, debunking the work I was doing, getting me out of focus. It's just a vicious cycle constantly. And it's funny because I couldn't figure out why the hell my productivity tanked so much. Those morning minutes are like the spark that ignites your engine for the day. When that spark misfires, the whole machine runs poorly. The science explains why this matters so much. Your prefrontal cortex, the brain's focus and decision-making center, functions at its peak in your morning hours. Your willpower tank is fullest when you first wake up, but most people waste this precious resource on low-value decisions like which email to open first, or which comment to respond to, or which next social media app to look at or post on. The numbers are seriously eye-opening. The typical morning chaos costs the average person 40% of their potential productivity. I would say with me, it was more. I was just running around chaotically all morning and not getting any one thing done or done correctly. That's essentially throwing away 3 hours of an 8-hour workday, all because of how you spend those first 15 minutes. It seems unreal, but man, it changed everything for me. There's also a biological rhythm at play. Cortisol naturally peaks in the morning to help you wake up, and that's normal. But when you add artificial stressors like work emails or negative news, that's a huge one. You push these levels into fight or flight zone. Your body literally thinks it's under attack before breakfast. So it's probably not a surprise if I told you that changing those first 15 minutes of your day could transform your productivity, your mood, even your health. Look, we're not talking about massive lifestyle overhauls here. It's just simple shifts in how you use those critical first moments. Those first 15 minutes after waking determine your entire day. They set your brain's operating mode. Are you going to be reactive or are you going to be proactive? Are you going to be scatterbrained or are you going to be focused? Are you going to be stressed or are you going to be calm? The choice is literally in your hands each morning. Now let's talk about small shifts and massive results. The 2-minute morning habits that really started to change how I approached my day, and it changed everything. Multiple times, but that's a story for another day. When you get into a bad situation, you fall back into those old bad habits. It happens so easy, and you got to grow out of them again. But at least we know how, right? Anyway, knowing your brain's operating mode is at stake each morning, I started researching even more, and I discovered some stuff that shocked me. Really, it's that the most successful people, they're not doing this elaborate 2-hour routine that I thought they were all doing. They're focused on micro habits, so small, you may really dismiss them as insignificant. Yet these tiny actions create compound effects that most people never experience. I used to really believe that super productive people just had different DNA than me. I'd watch their morning routine videos thinking, who the hell has time for a 90-minute yoga section, followed by journaling, followed by half an hour of meditation, and then a green smoothie, and then go to work? I get fired up about changing my life, create a massive morning plan, and crash by Wednesday, if not sooner, every single time. When I researched this and even talked about it with some high performing folks I know for research, I expected to hear about, again, these elaborate rituals, but instead, I discovered they were almost doing less than folks like you and me, but with incredibly intentional um, focus. Like, which tiny habits could they focus on to create a better routine for the day? Everything was incredibly intentional. This is when habit stacking really attaching new habits to things I already did automatically. After pouring my morning coffee, something I never forget to do, I immediately take 10 deep breaths. Just calms you. And after I do that, I take my nootropic. Again, something I never forget to do. I sit down with my coffee right after taking my nootropic and I do 10 minutes of meditation. Um, again, so you see, it's like basically the existing habit triggers the new habit, making it nearly impossible to forget. Pretty soon, that's just part of my routine. But let's get back to this topic. The first micro habit that transformed my morning was replacing phone scrolling with 2 minutes of gratitude journaling in the day. Just 2 minutes. So instead of grabbing that phone, which is always on my nightstand, I put a gratitude journal there. Sometimes I even keep my phone in my living room. I always have it on DND anyway, so just get it out of sight, out of mind. So I don't have that want to grab it. And I grab my gratitude journal instead. Gratitude journals are great. Having gratitude is great. There's so many pluses from this. It takes 2 minutes and it gets you out of that reactive state by scrolling through social media. So instead of grabbing that phone, boom, grab that notebook or gratitude journal, whatever it is, and just write down 2 or 3 things I'm grateful for. A few weeks ago, in 1 week alone, I woke up to 3 urgent client, maybe it was a couple months ago, but I woke up to 3 urgent client emails and felt my anxiety spike. And this is when looking at my phone right away in the morning. And I wanted to jump into those emails. Sometimes I did and respond, which is never a good idea without taking a beat anyway and thinking through your response. You don't just want to reactively respond. So many people do that. And I get caught in that too. But you want to think about it and react and respond calmly. But instead of diving into work, now I stick with my gratitude practice. I don't even look at my phone. And even after that, if maybe I look at my phone and I see emails, I go through my morning routine. I don't address the emails right away. Out of sight, out of mind. It's better if they're out of sight. But if you get them, just put them out of your mind. Do your morning routine, right? Do your gratitude practice. Do the rest of your morning routine. And then by the time I addressed those emails, my perspective had completely shifted. I was calm. I wasn't reactive. It was perfect. This simple switch activates your brain's reward centers in a healthier way than social media, releasing dopamine without the digital crash. So the second habit, promised you 3, right? The second habit, I added a 90-second visualization where I mentally rehearsed my most important daily tasks. This primes your brain's reticular activating system to recognize opportunities related to your daily goals. One of my good friends who has his own podcast, Sean, he actually turned me on to doing this every day because I use visualization long-term visualization, for my long-term goals, which I love and I have videos about. But he said he does it daily when he meditates and he focuses on his daily goals, and it really helped him. It really helps you to focus. My focus improves dramatically on the days that I take 90 seconds to close my eyes, take a few deep breaths, and focus on my daily tasks and what I want to accomplish that day. Third game-changing habit takes just 2 minutes, not even, takes like 1 minute. Drinking 16 ounces of water with a little pinch of salt before coffee, before anything. I like to do it when I'm still laying in bed if I remember to put that mug by my bed. And I use Celtic. Use a good salt that has a lot of minerals in it, right? Like sea, just a pinch of it, not too much salt. Morning, you do not do too much salt. Start small. But it helps with hydration a ton. It also helps, with working out, and it gives you all these minerals, magnesium, and all this stuff that our bodies are missing. Really, really good habit. Look, mild dehydration can reduce cognitive performance by up to 30%. And this especially hits starting in the afternoon for me anyway. And starting the day properly and properly hydrated. Look, you haven't drank water for probably at least 8 hours, hopefully not soon before bed and not much throughout the night. You're dehydrated in the morning. Get yourself hydrated right away, and it goes a long way for the rest of the day. And it helps give you immediate mental clarity. So I know these habits sound too simple to work and they're small, and that's exactly what I thought. But the compound effect over days and weeks and months is really mind blowing, especially once you get that into a habit and you do it every day. And they lead to more habits you can stack, like 10 minutes of meditation or 10 minutes of visualization, whatever other day. And I can tell any day that I don't do them, honestly. Even if I miss one of them, I can tell stress and anxiety start to return. It's crazy how they're just like waiting there for you. But yeah, a couple of the ones that I stacked, again, they're 10 minutes of morning meditation, followed by maybe 3 minutes of affirmations, visualization. If I can get to it, I love to do that one. But I don't want, my one thing is I always try to do too much, no matter what I'm doing. And I don't want to have a 2-hour morning routine, that gets in the way of stuff. I want it simple and I want it there to help me. So I try to do visualization later in the day, or long-term visualization. Anyway, so before we end though, I did want to discuss a very important topic. The morning saboteurs, 3 common habits that are destroying your day. Those tiny positive habits we just talked about that create incredible results, right? And they really do. But here's what most productivity gurus don't really tell you when they talk about that even with a perfect morning routine, saboteurs, some sneaky saboteurs can be silently draining your mental energy before you even leave the house. So if you can eliminate these, which is, I wouldn't say easy, but great. It's not hard. They're just small things to eliminate, and then add these 3 things that we just discussed. Oh my gosh. So while everyone focuses on what to add to their mornings, and that's important, I've also discovered that certain behaviors, that removing them from the morning creates even more mental clarity than any habit really could. And the morning saboteur number 1, decision overload. Every single choice you make in the morning, what to eat, what to wear, which task to tackle first, depletes your limited mental energy reserves. Steve Jobs famously wore the same black turtleneck every day because he understood preserving mental energy for important decisions gives you a massive advantage throughout the day. Think about your typical morning. How many tiny decisions do you make before 9 a.m.? A lot. Each one withdraws from your willpower bank account. The solution is simple, but it's powerful. Eliminate unnecessary morning decisions by preparing the night before. Lay out clothes the night before. Anything you can do to set your morning up makes that decision willpower last longer throughout the day. Morning saboteur number 2, task switching. Oh my gosh, this one kills me. That pattern of checking email, then making breakfast, then responding to a text, then returning to email, then returning to breakfast, then making coffee. Man, it cuts your productivity by like 40%. I'm scrambling all over. It's mass chaos and I'm not getting any one thing done. And your brain never fully engages with any single activity. So you're not even doing it to your full potential. Instead, it's constantly reorienting, creating invisible productivity taxes throughout your morning. Focus. Try to focus on what you're working on. And morning saboteur number 3, similar to number 2, but a little bit different. It's multitasking during your routine. For example, when you brush your teeth while scrolling through Instagram, or review your calendar while making coffee, you create what researchers call cognitive residue. It's a mental fog that follows you throughout the day. And this fog makes focusing clearly on anything harder, even hours later. The solution to these saboteurs isn't adding more to your mornings. It's strategic elimination and batching. Complete one morning activity fully before shifting to the next. Batch similar activities together, all hygiene routines together, then food prep together, then planning in the morning together. When you eliminate these saboteurs, you're going to experience what I like to call my mental morning clarity, a state where your thoughts feel razor sharp instead of fragmented. People I've talked to really talk about not just more productive mornings, but sustained focus throughout the entire day when they start their mornings like this. I've even heard the quote, "It feels like I gained an extra day in my week just by changing how I structure my morning." So, in conclusion, here's the crazy thing about transformation. It doesn't happen overnight. As James Clear points out, if you get 1% better every day for a year, you'll be 37%, 37 times better by the end. That's the power behind these morning habits, micro habits that we discussed. Remember, you don't need to overhaul your entire life tomorrow, not even your entire morning. Just pick a small change and commit to it consistently. The neuroscience is as clear as it can be. Your brain physically changes with each repetition, strengthening your willpower muscle while making habit formation that much easier. Your morning transformation, of course, is not about perfection. It's about small, consistent changes and actions that compound dramatically over time. So start tomorrow with just one tiny shift and watch your life transform one morning at a time. Take elimination of a habit or two, take adding a habit or two, however you want to do it. These are small changes that have huge effects for you over time.